Good morning. How you doing out there? I just want to just say hey to everybody. I know it's been a while. I know that it has been off and on. I haven't been consistent with getting on here, but there's a rhyme to the reason of that, or there's a reason to the rhyme. And I just want to go on the record today to just say that, peace is priceless. And peace is something that we really should strive for in our lives. I have been, for the last couple of days, talking to people about peace and different social media platforms or different groups that we've had some type of connection. And the word peace just kept coming up. And, it's hard to find a safe space to discuss your feelings, how you really feeling about some things. And so I decided to make this video so that I can let all my sisters out there know that you're not by yourself, that you're not in this fight by yourself, as as we look at growing older and finding that place to keep our peace, because peace is definitely priceless. And I feel like we don't talk about certain things enough for the reasoning of being judged. And today I want to just share with some of you out there that I know that every day is not roses. It's not sunshine and roses. I know that every day you may not feel your best, but I wanted to let you know that you're not by yourself. I wanted to encourage you and talk about certain things that we don't normally discuss on a regular basis. I know that this is the season where families are getting together for the holidays. People are getting excited to see their family, their loved ones. If you have grandchildren, if you don't, if you have whoever you're going to spend time with, it could be your niece and your nephews. It's a stressful time for a lot of people. And for myself included, I just feel like certain days I don't feel as bubbly as I would feel on other days. I feel like at times we don't really get in touch with that side of us, right? That emotional side. We try to gloss over it with the Christianese. We are Christians. I'm a Christian, and a lot of people that follow me are believers as well. But let's really be honest. In your body, there are changes that are going on. In your mind, things have shifted. You don't think the same way you did when you were younger. And I wanted to just do a video today to talk about peace, but to talk about it from a place of saying that, again, we don't always get a safe space to share our emotional, I would say our emotional navigator, to tell the truth about where you are. And every day you may not feel like showing up as your authentic self. And what I mean by that is there have been times when someone asks you how you're doing, you'll say that you're doing fine, but on the inside, you know that you're struggling emotionally or physically. There are things going on, and you don't find a peace in it. So I wanted to just share my thoughts. I have a few things jotted down that I wanted to discuss, but I want to share my story first, okay? I said all of that little jargon to try to break the ice, but the truth be told, it's like, I know that some of us have lost loved ones, and it's hard to just gloss over that during the holidays. It's a tough time for some. It's a time for people to reflect, and it's not always comfortable sharing your truth with others who may not have lost a loved one, or just in a place where you're trying to find yourself. You can always reinvent yourself every time you get older, right? Every year you get a little older, you can reinvent yourself, but you have to be willing to put in the work and to keep your peace on a daily basis. Because right now, there are a lot of people who don't have peace, who's not walking in peace, who's walking in stress and anxiety, who's walking in feeling like hopelessness is all around them because people may not have the finances, or People may not be in the right, place that they want to be in. People want to relocate. There's always decisions that have to be made. And with those decisions, it comes a disturbance of your peace. So I jotted down a few things, and I want to go there first and say this. I jotted down a few things to talk about how ways that we can help grasp the peace that we need. But as I stated, it all came out of, I said, God, it has to be something in this, because for the last 2 to 3 days, I've been in, Bible studies and conversations with friends that we're all talking about the same thing, but coming at it from a different perspective. And I wanted to create a video days ago talking about it, but I just didn't get around to it. And so I figured before I hit the streets and do some chores and things that I need to do, I decided to take this opportunity to say, listen, sisters, you're not alone. Girlfriend, you're not alone. You may be suffering in silence and not wanting anybody to know where you are in your life, but I'm making this video to let you know and to confirm that I get you and I understand. It's not just as simplistic as we would want it to be to say get over it, but there are things that we should do to navigate in this season, how we can get through some trying times. And the first thing I wanted to say was the number one thing is to find a place or a space to unwind. If you have children or grandkids or the job, things are pulling on you and you find that you're just all over the place. Your mind is cluttered. There's confusion all around you. You have to find a space, whether it's in your car, whether you take a ride, whether you go and spend the night somewhere, to give yourself a place to have peace and rest in you. Just being in that place, in that state where nothing's going on, you can pause. In the United States of America, we are the busiest, the ongoing, moving people that I know. Now, I don't know whoever may watch this video that lives somewhere else outside of the United States, but in the United States, everything is rush, rush, rush. You got to get things done. We got to do this. We're always on the move. The first vacation I took around, I think I was in my 20s, was to the Bahamas. And I recall the people that were with me, they said to me when we first got there, got all comfortable, put our bathing suits on, went out there to get into the water and just hang out. I was always thinking of the next thing to do. I did not know how to relax. I did not understand that vacation meant that you didn't have to have an itinerary. You can just hang out and do what you need to do. So in finding that place of peace, this is the time to stick a little pin in there and say, I'm going to find a space where it's not doing anything. I don't have to do anything. I can just be in the moment. I can just show up. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to answer that call. I can just find a place where if you want to play some soft music or you just want to be by yourself, you don't have to do all that. But what I do know is, in order to bring a halt to all the things that are coming and bombarding you, you have to find a place. You have to find a space to unwind. It could be in your closet. Some people have the walk-in closet. Got a walk-in closet. Go in there, relax, and just focus. Maybe close your eyes for a few minutes. Maybe you say a prayer. Some people meditate. Whatever it is that you do, you got to find peace somewhere by finding a safe space. That's number one. And then I wrote down number two is to think about the things that bring you joy. Think about the things that bring you joy. I enjoy certain hobbies. I haven't done them in a while. And I was thinking about it laying in the bed last night when I was about 17 years old. Now, this isn't a hobby per se, but I'll get to my hobbies. But I thought about, and because I saw someone else playing the same instrument. I used to play the flute when I was 17 years old. I wasn't good at it, but it was something that I enjoyed. I was learning how to read music and all of that stuff. And I thought about it while I was laying in bed watching this this very famous gentleman. Now he's taken up the flute and everybody's talking about him. But I thought about that. I said, wow, and I don't know where my flute is. I can remember the case and what it looked like, but through the course of moving all these different times in my life, I have lost sight of my flute. So I've been thinking about getting a new one. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. However, some of the hobbies that I do enjoy is creating jewelry pieces. I haven't done that in a while. I haven't sat down to create anything. And that's a time where you don't have to think about anything. You can just be in that moment. You can just do what you want to do without being bombarded. Whatever brings you joy. You can think about those things that bring you joy. Maybe you like roller skating. Now, for me, I don't think I could ever do that again. The last time I went skating and I felt like it was the Empire State Building just falling and crashing. It was just not a good feeling. It wasn't a good feeling. So, you have to find something for you. Find something in your mindset that brings you joy and, focus on those things. Don't focus on everything else that's bringing you down, weighing you down. It could be situations in your family. Everybody's family got some stuff going on, but you cannot always focus on that. You have to focus on the positive things, and that's going to bring your mind to a state of peace. When you have peace, you have clarity. When you are disrupted and there's a lot of distractions, there's no way that you can feel any type of peace in the midst of all the chaos. So you have to think about things that bring you joy. And also, I wanted to put a pin in there and state that going for a ride for some is calming. Going for a wide ride and putting on some music and just enjoying and relaxing, that just brings so much joy and makes you feel like, hey, you're in your zone. It just you and your ride and some nice smooth music or whatever you like. Those are the things that I think would help bring that peace to your heart and your soul. Number 3. Now, some ladies like doing this and some, women may not like it, but these are just some thoughts. You can put in there whatever you desire, but to, again, like listen to the music or massage is something that I enjoy. I haven't had a massage in it's been a couple of years. So I reached out to a massage therapist today, and I'm trying to, book me an appointment because I'm overdue. And massages, they actually release some things in you. They calm you. And not only is your body being stretched and, being massaged, but it's releasing a lot of toxins, releasing the stressors, the anxiety. Massages, people think it's just, I need a massage because it may be the bougie kind of thing to do. Some people have just caught on to it, but it's actually good for your body. It's good for your body. Just like a person would would go out and exercise. You're doing something that is releasing endorphins, the energy, getting up that cardio, building up that, building everything up on the inside of you, and that energy just gets going and you feel so good after you exercise. You may not like going in the beginning, but when you get there and you get in the zone, you really enjoy it. And then, there's other things that you can do. It doesn't have to always be a massage, but it could be making yourself some tea, some coffee, some hot chocolate. I thought about that today. Again, as I was preparing, it's not just about me telling others what to do, but I am implementing these things in my personal life. I said, wow, I've been drinking tea because I love tea, and I like to do my tea the way they do it in London. Okay, well, in England, I like my tea with a spot of milk in it, but I use hazelnut. Someone one time when I was at the store had told me to try it because this particular person was making it, and I'm looking at them and they're preparing their tea, and I'm looking like, okay, that's something different. I usually put just some lemon and honey, but that day I said, wait a minute, let me try something new. So I tried that several years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. But you can make it however you want. Some people put all kinds of stuff in there, hot teas and, the cocos. But I like my hot chocolate with whipped cream on it. It's delicious, especially when I go out to, different restaurants. And then number 4, I'm going to say, you have to be okay with not wanting to be around a lot of people all the time. if you are a people person, I'm a people person, but I also call myself an extrovert, but I'm also introverted, if that makes sense. I'm extroverted. In other words, when I'm out, I'm out. I'm like the life of the party. I can get the party started. I can be loud and boisterous, but a lot of fun. But when I'm home, I don't mind being in my own little space. I don't mind being in my room and just relaxing. I have like a nice little chair in my room, in my bedroom, and I can sit there and watch TV and just be by myself. Now, some people have a problem with that, but there are those who don't mind being by themselves. You have to be okay with not wanting to be around people all the time, because you have to save your insanity. If that makes sense. What I mean, save your insanity. People will cause you to go crazy over their crap, but you have to be in a place where you got to save your mindset. You got to save your peace, right? Because they will make you feel like, oh my goodness, they dumping on you. And when you're around certain crowds, have you ever been around people? And I know you can put your little comments in the comment chat if you've ever experienced this, where you have called someone on the phone or went to visit someone just to say, hey, you're in a good mood, and they dump all of their issues on you. They want to tell you all the things that are going on that's wrong in their lives. And you're literally sitting there ingesting all of this. So you have adapted to their insanity when you have your own stuff to deal with, but they're dumping on you, and it's not a good feeling. So you have to be okay sometimes to just say, listen, I don't want to be bothered. And you can say, I just don't want it. I just don't want to do that today. I want to save my peace. I want to stay in a place of positive thinking, stay optimistic about my future, about the things I want to do. And, you don't have to subscribe to that. So it's okay to not want to be around people a lot. A lot of times you have to do that to save your own peace. And then number 5, now I understand that there are those that may watch this video and they're married, and that's fine too, because this is not for just single women. It's for any person that needs to find a place of peace. But around the holidays, it's kind of tough for people who are single. I've been married a few times, so I understand the dynamic of being married and having that person in your space. But then I understand about being single and not having anyone in your space around the holidays. I would say it's a twofold for me. Sometimes I say to myself, I'm loving this peace and quiet, because it's not good being around someone who truly doesn't care for you, where there's been a split in the road, where you no longer get along, but yet you are there. You're there just to get along. And so holidays or birthdays, people believe that just because you have somebody in your life that, your life is great, everything is wonderful. But that doesn't always have to be the truth. The truth could be that we're just cohabitating and getting along, on the premises of we're making it work because we live in the same household. And with that, understanding that people on the outside could believe that, oh, wow, I wish I had that. Where the people who live inside the house is saying, I wish I could get out of here. So what am I saying? For number 5 is for single women, you got to create new memories for yourself around the holidays. I thought about this as I was putting up my Christmas tree. I love Christmas. It's one of my favorite holidays. However, this year I was slow preparing, getting festive, putting up the tree. And I think it was because I had a moment. I had a moment of sadness, thinking about, the loss of my mother and my father and my brother, and not really having like people around me that I really love for the holidays. And it kind of made me, kind of, even right now, you can probably see my face is kind of tearing up. But even right now, thinking about it and understanding that you got to make new memories. You have to do something new for yourself. And it's okay. It's okay to have a moment and get it together and move on. So I enjoy the holidays. I love Christmas. It's one of my favorite holidays. I like to decorate. May not be the best decorator, but I just like putting on the lights. I love the lights. And I love getting it prepared, even for Thanksgiving. I usually have my decorations up for Thanksgiving. This year, I did not. However, moving forward, just talking about creating new memories, I feel like single women out there, if you don't want to do the traditional way, you don't have to. You can do something different. You can go away for vacation. I thought about that. I thought about, I've been in grad school this whole year, and I haven't been anywhere. I, on purpose, had put everything on pause so that I could focus on school. Now, some people can chew gum and do other things at the same time, but for me, I'm recognizing that as the older that I get, I can only focus on one thing at a time. So I chose to focus on getting through school because I paid for it, as opposed to taking trips, having to stay in my room, sitting up doing homework all night. To me, it would have defeated the purpose. So I chose not to do that. I chose to put everything on pause. I usually travel like once a month. I'm going somewhere. My suitcase is always packed. I'm always moving. I'm always on the go. And I feel like I'm about to start doing that again because I love going places, and it's the rush of it all. It's the rush of it. I like to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning, get in my car, drive to the airport, and I'm off to the races. It's just my thing that I love to do. But this year, I did not do that. Well, last year I did not do that, but now I'm finally completed with everything and moving forward in my life. So, you have to make those new memories for yourself. I don't care if you decide you want to start vlogging, if you want to vlog your journey in your singleness. I think it's therapeutic. And for me, creating the videos, it's therapeutic for me. And I will be doing this every day again because it's therapeutic for me just to get out my feelings, my emotions about where I am in my life at the stage. It's good to unwind and unravel things because when you play it back, I know when I play it back, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. This makes sense. I was in that space and in that place. But now, again, with the holidays right here, you have to just create new memories for yourself as a single person. And don't be in a funk because you may see married couples or people who are just dating posting on their Instagram or whatever social media platform how well everything looks. And then we all know that on Christmas Day, you're going to be bombarded with 1,001 pictures of everyone in their pajamas and the gifts that my boo bought. But how many of you know that even if the boo bought the gift, he may have felt obligated just because he's married to you to buy the gift, but his heart wasn't really in it. He just did it so that he could shut you up. See, people don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But listen, I always say this, I got 2 Super Bowl rings to let you know that I understand the dynamic of marriages. I understand the intricate part, the whole structure of what it looks like on being in the inside, looking at it from that perspective as well. So single women, if you've never been married before, don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get blindsided by the images that people portray because what you see on social media platforms is not always reality. So I just want to throw that out there. And then number 6, to pause. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand, with number 1, like finding a space or place to unwind. But this one I stated was pause and embrace the space you're in. Get somewhere and be still and collect your thoughts. No rushing, just be still. You can do that. I do that sometimes in my car. Before I go into a store, I'll sit in the car for a little bit or whatever you do to find that place that brings you calmness. Because everything is like a rush. But you have to, and at work, things have to be done. Things are a rush. We need to get it done now. We need to do this now. But then there are times when you have to relax. It's okay. Just pause for a minute and then resume your life. But you gotta take some breaks. Some people haven't been on vacation in quite a while. They'll say, well, I've been working. I'm trying to, build up this vacation time or this overtime. I'm trying to get it in. Eventually, you're going to have to take a break because you're going to have burnout. You don't want to do that. That's another part of distraction. So you have to choose you sometimes. Is it worth the money? Sometimes some offers isn't a good one. I was offered something one time and I had to laugh at the people because I know they thought I was crazy because I turned it down. But every offer isn't a good offer. You have to choose your peace sometimes over everything else. And then something that was said the other night, which I've even wrote it in the book, is number 7 is saying no. Saying no, you have to say no, and it's freeing to say no. Saying no that you're not going to do everything. You're not going to show up to everything. Saying no, not feeling obligated to other people to live up to their standards. Saying no puts you in a place of empowerment. Because you don't have to say no, because you can just say, no, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And you just can say no. Certain things you don't have to give a long dissertation. You don't have to give a paragraph. You don't have to give a whole speech. Just say no. No. No is no. You're not going to do it. You're not going to show up. Some Christmas parties, if you feel like you don't want to be there. Some things that your family is giving, different functions. If you don't want to be there, you can just say no. Protect your space, protect your peace by saying no. I'm not going to partake in it. And then this one, number 8, is something that can be touchy, can really dig into the core of who you are. Because when you're embracing peace, you have to embrace you. You have to come to a resolve with you, embrace you. Embrace the person that you see behind closed doors, without the makeup, without the hair. Embrace who you are. Embrace your flaws. And embrace your insecurities. Embrace the things that keeps cropping up in your head that happened over 10 years ago. You have to embrace certain things. We tell you, you need to let it go, let it go, let it go. I say that when I'm counseling people or coaching people, however you want to put it. It's pretty much the same thing. But at the same time, it's up to that individual when the time is right for it to drop off, right? It's at a certain height. Like even with an airplane, when the airplane takes off and get to a certain altitude, it levels out. When you've had enough, when you feel like you're done, you will embrace it. I was sharing with a group of women the other night because we were talking about peace. And like I said, it's like the Lord had already been talking to me about peace, and I had wanted to share my heart. I wanted to share some things on my videos, but I just couldn't find the time. So today I said, before I even do everything that I want to do, I wanted to do this, because when you embrace who you are, you're getting naked. And you're saying what really is on your heart, how you really feel about yourself. Some women, they struggle with low self-esteem. They struggle with getting out of the bed in the morning. They struggle with their past. They struggle with their present. It's a lot of things that women deal with every day. And they get up, they show up. No one would ever know what's behind those eyes. What's behind those eyes, the things, the weight that they carry, the weight that we carry as women. No one would ever know. But finding peace, knowing that, like I shared the other day with some of the women, that certain things about myself at this moment I'm not really pleased with. And, I shared... I joked about it. I was like, listen, I said, I walked by the mirror the other day. Ooh, girl, you done got so fat. And I said, ooh, but you're still cute and curvy. You have to encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself on your journey. And it's not taking away from being humble and not being prideful. But if you don't encourage yourself, Who's going to encourage you? It starts with you first. You have to do the inner work to like you first. I don't know who would just walk around and say, I don't like me. You have to love on you first. So that's not being prideful. It's not being arrogant. You have to have some positivity about yourself. You have to have that mannerism that you care about yourself, that you love on you. And it has nothing to do with being arrogant. If you don't care about you, who will? Sometimes women choose people because they're looking for other people to validate them. And I think it's such a mistake that we look for people to validate us when God has already told us that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. But yet we look for people to validate us. Embrace who you are. It brings peace. Embrace it. Because during that time when you embrace who you are, it brings not only peace, but it reassures you that you're still a work in progress, that God is not through with you, that is still some steps to take, it's still some things that you can do in your life, and show up. Show up in your life as your authentic self. The most freeing thing for me, and I'm going to close with this, the most freeing thing for me was when people use this phrase when they get free from people. It's not about free from people. It's about being comfortable with who you are as a person, with your quirkiness. I talk fast, so I know I talk fast, with my quirkiness, with my thickness, with the way I talk, with how I look. I remember one time, and this just came to my head. I remember one time I had did a video. I got up early in the morning and I didn't put any makeup on, any foundation or anything. And I got on, my live, and I shared a good little live. I'm always trying to inform the masses. And then I got a text from a person, a good friend of mine's. Someone had texted her to tell me not to show up like that on my videos without makeup. And I thought to myself, first of all, that's what's wrong. I understand, listen, I want to make this clear. Image, you represent yourself in a certain way. I didn't get on there with any type of bonnet on my head. I always get on there with clothes on. Okay, I didn't get on there with a house coat or anything of that nature. I didn't get on there with a robe. I had no makeup on, but my hair was done and I was running out. Now, how many times, let's be clear, for a lot of women, when we get up in the morning, it takes a lot to get up and do what we do. But for all the extras, because it takes time to put the lashes on, it takes time to put the makeup on, and some women will not leave the house without it. Their faces be beat down like they have gone, to a makeup artist, and that's something that's a gift for them. But my point to it all is they had a problem with me showing up as my authentic self. But what I subscribed to the fact was, did I get my point across? Did my message not, was my message not heard? Yes, it was. So that right there, to me, was everything. And so when the message was relayed to me by this person, I chuckled because I'm okay in my skin. There was a time when I wasn't. There was a time when I bought certain things or I wore certain things to conform to the culture in which I lived in at that time. But after a while, I realized this is not my authentic self. I like certain things. When I decided to just say, hey, I want to wear my hair natural, I want to do what I want to do. And whoever doesn't like it, that's a personal problem. It has nothing to do with me. That's something that's in that person. Therefore, you have to embrace who you are. There's a peace that comes with that. even while you're still working on yourself, okay? Because I've already addressed the fact of gaining more weight. But now, so how do I get it off? You have to address that as well. But while you're on your journey, you have to embrace you. You have to love on you. You have to treat yourself with kindness. You have to tell yourself, you know, Mary J. Blige wrote a song, or, you know, Good Morning Gorgeous. That was to reaffirm some things. And I'm quite sure because she's gone through a lot of things as well. We don't want to get all into that because it's her story. We all have a story. We all have a story to tell. But while we're going through this process, we just want to keep peace within us, outside of us, and around us. You need to keep your peace. So enjoy your day. I'm going to leave you with one scripture, Philippians 4:7. It says, "And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Enjoy your day. Protect your peace.